Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by as we get ready to rank every single song in the Gaya Pelikula soundtrack. Let's get into it. Now, if you haven't watched my reaction to this series, what are you doing with your lives? The link to the playlist is down in the description. Go, watch. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Approximately 10 hours later.
If you have watched my reactions to this series, then you know that I think that this OST is pretty much sheer perfection. So in ranking these songs, it in no way, shape, or form means that I think any of the songs are bad. There are just certain songs that speak a little bit louder to me than others. Also, this list is my own personal opinion, which may differ from yours, and that's completely okay. So there's no need to be rude in the comment section. If you have a difference of opinion, feel free to leave your rankings down in the comments. Now, before we jump into the list, let's break down the format of my ranking. I've scored each song in 4 categories, each from 1 to 10, for a max total score of 40 points. The 4 categories are skip, play, or repeat, which basically describes my likelihood to listen to a song if it comes on outside of the context of me watching the show. Vocals, which is pretty self-explanatory. Relevance to the scene, which describes how well I feel the song captured the mood of the scene it was used in, be it the lyrics, the instrumentation, or some other aspect of the song. And level of my response when listening to the song. That is, does it make me happy? Does it make me sad? Does it get me hype? Do I just feel indifferent to it? So on, so on, so forth. The more responsive I am, the higher the score. Now that all the ground rules are out of the way, let's get into the list. Number 11. With 18 points, we're starting out our list with Ikaw, the lo-fi version. While there aren't any bad songs on this OST, Ikaw had a couple of aspects that landed it in our bottom spot. The most significant one being its unavailability on iTunes in the US. While it's not really the track's fault, it did contribute, as when I went to recreate the Gaya Pelikula OST on my phone, this and Ride Home were the only 2 tracks unavailable to me. Thus, I've listened to them the least. Unlike Ride Home, however, when listening to all the songs in preparation for this list, I couldn't remember where it fit into the GSP timeline. It wasn't until rewatching episode 7 that I realized it was the background music of Vlad's Dear Carl video. This was another reason Ikaw ended up here. All the other songs on the OST may have started in the background of a scene, but were quickly moved to the foreground as the scene progressed. Ikaw was the only track that was kept as background music, making it far less noticeable for me. Musically, it's different from many of the folk indie rock tracks on the OST, and I can appreciate what it does for the scene in episode 7. There are just other tracks that I enjoy way more. Number 10. At number 10, we've got Nasan Ka Oluna with 22 points. With a significantly higher score than our previous entry, there's more I enjoy about this track. However, it does run into some similar issues to Ikaw. Firstly, I had no memory of where it fit into the GSP timeline, and I needed to rewatch the series to find it during the end credits of episode 5. It does feature solid vocals and sets a relaxing ambiance, and if I were listening to strictly the Gaya Pelikula OST, then I'd usually let it play out. However, if I'm listening to my entire music library and this song happens to come on, I do find myself skipping the track more times than not. It's a good song, but again, it's just not my favorite. Number 9. With 27 points, our 9th place entry is Makaibigan or Makaibigan. Similar to our previous 2 entries, this track's score fell short in my likelihood to skip past it. However, it excelled in all the other categories. This was another song I couldn't place in the series until my most recent rewatch, but hearing it while watching Vlad and Carl slow dancing gave me instant chills. It sets the scene so perfectly. The folksy brand of vocals provide a lighthearted and down-to-earth nature to the scene, reflective of the atmosphere shown on screen, and the instrumental break full of all of these strings gives this sweeping ballroom dance feeling. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, the first 3 entries on this list all fell short in the same category, having a higher likelihood of being skipped when I'm listening to music. The next few entries are all easy plays for me. Number 8. In the number 8 spot is Celos with 27.5 points. The track opens with the keyboard playing a simple but soothing melody line which later returns as part of the chorus's vocal line. Blending Nika's soft and sensitive vocals, a mild and mellow indie rock instrumentation, and interesting layered vocals and harmonies makes this song such a vibe for me. There have been so many times that I've had this come on while I was at work, and my mood immediately changed. This is a song that I always end up singing along with, despite not actually knowing the lyrics. It wasn't until making this list that I actually looked up the English translations, and when I saw celos, celos, effectively translating to jealous, jealous, that made its inclusion at the end of episode 3 even more perfect. Watching it again with the translation in mind and seeing the look on Carl's face when Vlad insists to his ex that Carl is just a friend. I love this song. I love it so much, but there are others that speak a little bit louder. Number 7. At number 7, we have TLY or True Young Lovers. Now, there are 2 versions of the song, both used on the OST. But right now, we're focusing on the upbeat pop version included in episode 1, earning a total of 29 points. One of 3 songs recorded in English, this was naturally a song on the OST that was easier for me to learn and understand how it fit into the narrative Gaya Pelikula was trying to tell. Musically, it is a bop. It's a good old-fashioned blend of soft, emotive vocals, indie rock instrumental arrangements, and this radio-friendly pop essence. However, lyrically, it's a much sadder story than its instrumentation would lead you to believe. When we first meet Vlad, he appears to just be dancing, partying, and having a good time on the surface. And as the series progresses, we learn he's actually a complex character, recovering from heartbreak, avoiding his mom, and drinking and music seem to be his way of coping with loneliness, like on his birthday. In hindsight, some of the lyrics can actually be seen as foreshadowing for Carl and Vlad's relationship in the latter half of the season. It's really just the perfect song for their first meeting. On its surface, it seems like an innocent good time, but it has so many layers. Number 6. In at number 6 with 30 points is Unti Unti. It's the song we hear the most in this series as it accompanies the end credits of the majority of episodes. Similar to Celos, Unti Unti utilizes a combination of soft, soothing vocals, great harmonies, and mellow instrumentation to create a welcoming atmosphere. From the translations I found, lyrically it tells the story of a love that once burned bright and seems to be fading. It honestly seems like a great track to chronicle the different phases of Carl and Vlad's relationship throughout the series. Number 5. Alright, starting off our top 5 with 32.5 points, we have Ride Home. As I mentioned when discussing Ikaw, Ride Home is one of 2 tracks on this OST that's not available on iTunes in the US. Thus, it was one I was more unfamiliar with upon creating this list. However, where this track differed from Ikaw was how effectively it was used in the series. When I started writing this list, I listened to the OST on YouTube straight through and made general notes before doing a rewatch of the series. Just from reading the title, I had no idea what this song was or where it fit into the Gaya Pelikula timeline, but as soon as I listened to it and I heard that first chorus hit, I was instantly taken back to the first time I watched the series. I saw the entire scene playing out in my head and I honestly couldn't help but getting super emotional. Vlad running home to be with Carl, Carl dancing without inhibitions or worries, Vlad joining Carl, and then that first magical kiss. I don't think there could have been a better song for this moment, and it makes me so sad that this track isn't available for purchase in the US. Rounding out our top 5, this is the last song on the list that got a straight play from me. The rest of these tracks are immediate repeats. Number 4. Number 4 on our list goes to Kilometer with 36.5 points. It's Ian Pangilinan singing. Literally, what else do I need to say? Number 3. Getting the bronze medal, we actually have a tie, with both tracks earning 37 points, the first of which is Tahanan. This song is so well produced. Y'all don't understand how hard I groove to this song. Just hope that I'm not doing anything that actually requires my attention, like working or driving, because I focus on literally nothing else but the vibe this song gives me. Similar to other tracks on the OST, it features soft vocals, but the production quality of this is immaculate. The vocal arrangements, the constant shifting of vocals and drums to and from the foreground, the catchy chorus, and that saxophone break towards the end are just aspects that draw me to this track. Then, when you put it into the context of the series, the whole if you play a song and close your eyes, the person you see was the one your heart desires. This was the moment that we got to see Vlad start to realize his feelings for Carl. The joy I felt seeing Carl walk in and embrace Vlad, paired with the sadness that I felt realizing it was all just a dream, and Vlad was just sitting there hugging himself. So many feels. Our second third place recipient is Tulupna Mahalko. Now, if you want to make me cry, just make me watch this scene in episode 8. Before I did my rewatch in preparation for this list, this song was already one of my favorites. Even before I looked up the lyric translations months ago when I reacted to Jai performing it live, it was one of my favorites. There's just something about her vocals paired with the gorgeous string instruments that spoke to me. It felt warm and comforting like a lullaby, but at the same time it came with this air of sadness that I just couldn't understand. And I didn't remember where it fit into the Gaya Pelikula timeline, but I knew I loved the song. Then, after rewatching the series, it all made sense. Such a beautiful scene of what the world should be like gave me the warmth, and the fact that it wasn't their reality explained the sadness that I had mentally tied to the track. By now, you're probably noticing a trend in the top 5. Lots and lots of feels. And let me tell you, these top 2 don't hold any punches. Number 2. Walking away with the silver medal with 37.5 points is TYL, the acoustic version. I touched on the sad story the lyrics tell earlier in the list when discussing the pop version of the song, and this acoustic version strips away all musical distractions and puts that story front and center for us to hear loud and clear. I cannot count the number of times that I've been in the car or in the shower just singing along and I just started crying midway through the second verse. Why? I got no idea. Probably some unresolved emotions I should probably deal with at some point, but seriously, the acoustic nature really made me listen to the lyrics and process the story being told. I tried so hard not to love that I felt anyway, kept away, became what I was scared of. That lyric speaks to my soul like you don't understand. When I first heard the song on my initial watch through of the series, it made me sad given the context of the scene and her emotive vocals, but after listening and learning the lyrics, it just took on a whole different meaning. Number 1. If you've been keeping track, then this entry should be obvious. In our number 1 spot, with a perfect score of 40 points, is Fools. I stan this song. I've said it dozens of times that one way I know an artist is doing something special is when they make me want to sing the song, and the vocals in this are sheer perfection. From his lead vocals to the choir voices that comes in the latter half, it's easily my favorite song on the OST. You don't know how hard I've searched for a fully orchestrated karaoke track to this song. The only thing I found is a piano instrumental on YouTube, and I make it work. Musically, it just feels the most different. The majority of the OST has a combination of folksy feels and indie influences, where this, TYL, and Ikao feel like the furthest departures from that blueprint. The organ humming in the background, the snapping and the drums providing differing but complementary forms of percussion, the inclusion of electric guitars as the song progresses, the build-up and release of the bridge, and then that a cappella finish are just chef's kiss. And putting it in the context of the series, If Our Love Was Real, Then Why Are We Here is probably one of the best lyrics that encapsulates that moment of Judy trying to console Vlad as he tries to push her away. Such a powerful scene supported by a powerful song. So that's my ranking. Did you guys rank them differently? Go ahead and let me know what your ranking was down in the comments section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If you guys have suggestions for other ranking videos I can do, go ahead and leave those down in the comment section as well. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Love you guys.